Hey basketball coaches and players, today I am going to be breaking down Kyrie Irving's basketball shooting form. Let's get down to the clipboard and let's check out Kyrie Irving. So like always, I am going to be starting from the ground up. So to start, we have his face. That is the biggest key. And every single basketball player needs to be looking at the rim even before they catch that ball to know exactly where it is and where to shoot. Now, going down to the ground, what we are seeing is his right foot. He is a right-handed player. He is up on his toes, and he is down on his heels. And to me, that's actually very similar to myself. Maybe his left leg is a bit stronger than his... So maybe his left leg is stronger than his right, but that's totally fine. A lot of players can still have a very straight shot, and Kyrie Irving is a very good player, so of course, I'm not going to be nitpicking that all that much. It could also be just from the way he caught that ball and the balance that he has. Going over towards his ankles, which is something that I don't normally break down, is that his right foot is slightly turned. We can see by the shadow it's not square with the sideline, which means that his right foot is slightly turned inwards away from the rim. Now that's something that would normally basically turn your shot towards the left, but again, he is a very high percentage shooter, so I wouldn't be worried about that all that much for Kyrie Irving. Next, we have his knees, and both of his knees seem to be pretty well facing straight towards the rim, and same as his hips and his shoulders. He is pretty well square towards the basket. Going from there, what we have is, when we speed up the footage a little bit more from the start, his arm starts down here and then it is able to then move up, only using his shoulder as a hinge, and he is not bending his elbow to bring that ball up until the last second. He tends to bring that ball up the middle of his body most of the time. A lot of players do. I myself do sometimes when I'm doing a step back, so that's totally fine. I don't mind a player bringing the ball up the middle of their body as long as they can get that elbow underneath that ball when they shoot. And Kyrie Irving tends to do that. Now, his set point is right here where his shoulder is in line with his elbow, which is in line with the basket, which is extremely important. That is your aim. Now, his set point is going to be just past 90 degrees when it comes to his elbow, and when it comes to the ball itself, it looks to be right over top, if not right in front of his right eye. Now, this is a good set point. It's not too low. This is why I always tell players to not shoot from their chest. This is a very good example. We have a player who is basically contesting that shot, and Kyrie Irving, if he was to shoot from his chest, that would definitely get blocked. This is why you want to have a higher set point, preferably over top of your eyes so that you can still see the basket and be able to get it high enough so that other players have a harder time of blocking your shot. Now, going back, another thing that we see is his toes are pretty well in line with the backs of his knees to the back of his shoulders. Now, this may be something just because it is in-game footage. It's not set shots in a practice, but that is still okay. We don't mind if the toes line up with the back of the knees and the back of the shoulders as long as they're in line. I know a lot of coaches will want to have the front of your shoulders, the front of your knees in line with your toes, which with the left foot from this angle, it looks like it could be it, but I'm going to tell you right now, from this angle, if we were sitting over here, looking at the angle this way, we would definitely not be seeing these in line. Now, when we go up into his shot, he's able to, now when he releases that ball, his arms don't push the ball forward. His arms push the ball up. This is another very important aspect of shooting a basketball. You want to have a lot of arc on the ball, which will make the rim look bigger. think about it this way. If the ball was dropping straight down on the rim would actually look like this. But if the ball is traveling forward towards the rim and not dropping into the rim would actually look similar to this. And that's a lot harder of a target to hit than this big circle here. Also, another reason why you would want to shoot high arc is also harder to block. As we can see, if he was to release that ball on a 45 or lesser degree angle, this defender would be able to block that shot quite easily. So from there, he's able to lift that ball up using his shoulders. He gets to a 90-degree angle, and that is when he starts pushing the ball forward. Now, something that everyone has noticed about Kyrie Irving is 99% of the time, his offhand, the thumb, actually affects the shot. As you can see, the ball didn't start tilted, but now it turns inwards, and that just means that his thumb is flicking the ball, and generally speaking, that's going to have one of two, if not both effects. And one of those effects would be a ball that goes, in this case, towards the right side because it's his left hand flicking it, or a lack of spin. However, he is able, when he shoots that ball, it tends to go off his pointer and his middle finger last at the same time. So because of that, that's still allowing him to have a straight shot, and we can now watch that ball rotate in the air. So we're going to watch that Spalding name on the side. That's one rotation, that's two rotations and a half. So he's still able to get 2.5 rotations on that ball, and that's kind of the number of rotations that you're looking for as a player. Now from here, we can actually see his set point. So his set point, he actually has his elbow slightly higher than his shoulder, and then his arm reaches all the way back, and the ball actually almost touches his right side of the forehead over top of his right eye. Now, some players will shoot with a perfect 90-degree angle on their arms, and basically that would be slightly in front of their head, but that does give you a slightly faster shot. However, this is going to give you a much more powerful or longer shot. It also allows you to gain more fouls by having your elbow out in front, and then also it allows you to be able to have more arc on your shot in some cases. Not in all cases, but in some cases. Something else that I have noticed is with the palm of his hand on the ball. Now, every single player, every single coach wants to try and shoot with the ball off their palm. It seems like Kyrie Irving either has very little space between his palm and the ball, if not having any space at all. Now, what does that tell you? Well, generally speaking, having your palm on the ball may give you a more accurate shot. However, if you get hit in any way by having your palm on the ball, it's going to allow you to lose the ball much easier. The fingertips are able to control the ball a lot better if you don't have your palm on the ball. So that is the fine line that we need to cross, and I think that he has a little bit of space between the palm and the ball. Maybe not a finger's width worth of space, maybe a little bit less, but because of that, maybe that's allowing him to have the accuracy that he does have with the ability to still control that ball. I hope that this video has helped you become a better basketball player. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys again next time.